Have you been thinking about getting into Forex trading? Forex trading opens up a world of opportunity for those who know how to do it properly. You can experience financial freedom and reap tremendous rewards for your trading skills. Unfortunately, many programs make big promises and throw students into the trading market without the proper knowledge and expertise to succeed. Fortunately, there is a solution. Great White FX Academy is the best place to start your Forex trading journey with the tools, resources, and education necessary to help you thrive in the market. Great White FX is an online training platform that provides technical training that will help you succeed. It is of the utmost importance to have a proper qualitative education to participate in Forex trading, and that is exactly what Great White FX focuses on. Click the link below this video to join Great White FX and gain access to all of the resources you need to find great success with Forex trading.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. If you can hear me clearly, please type in yes. If you can hear me clearly and see my chat, just please type in yes. Good evening. No, you're welcome to this week's trade review with Great White FX for the 21st of November 2019. So I thank you all for taking your time to attend today's training. So without taking much of your time, let's get down to business. So Monday will be pretty calm. Monday will be pretty calm, except Tuesday. Then Thursday there will be some fireworks. Thursday, that's ECB monetary policy statements. There will be some fireworks. Then by Saturday, officially daylight saving time shift will start. What that means is that by Saturday, your broker will be opening on by 11. That means there's a shift in the 4-hour candle. So we need to be aware of that. So let's get down to business.
When you say shift, what does it mean?
There'll be a forward move in time.
That's a 1 hour ahead, Abi?
Yes. Your 4-hour will now be opening by 11.
Okay, you mean we'll be open by 11 instead of 10?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, Great White?
Yes,
okay,
I said
thanks.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, let's get down to business. As always, we start with the dollar index. So, looking at the dollar index from the weekly, because it's always advisable when you're starting your new week to always look at your charts from the weekly perspective. It will give you an idea of what to expect the coming week. Looking at the dollar index, this is a very, very big bearish drive. Normally, when I see such candles like this and its proximity to this area, you might see a drop into this area. You might see a spike, then a pull back into the body of this candle. But for now, it's still bearish. But if you look at it, whenever price touched this moving average on the daily, it always went back up. As you can see, you just need to be aware of that. And this moving average is coming in at 96.93 just here. So you need to be aware of that for the dollar index. You need to be aware of that for the dollar index. So how do we look at this from our intraday point of view? So we go down to our dollar index. Let's see. Now, this is the area I pointed about. This area I pointed about on the weekly. So, and remember that this weekly moving average is at 96.93. So that means that we might see a dip in here and a move away from it. As you can see, price always reacts from this level. So price, it may drop into this area or it may bounce from here, but that we'll be looking at to see by Monday. So the next pair we'll be looking at is gold. Gold, basically, from the weekly point of view, it is just ranging. Gold is just ranging. As you can see, price is moving within the range of this candle. It's looking bearish, but it's finding support off the weekly 13 moving average. See, it always make sure it closes above it. So if we go to our intraday chart, gold is not looking so beautiful. It's more like ranging. That is what it's doing. This is a stop resistance area, and this looks like it's support area. So looking at gold, I just can't see. This trend line from this point to this point has been respected here. So as long as this trend line is not broken and this zone is not broken to the downside, you might see gold still rally to the top side. But be well aware, on the 4-hour, there's a falling channel. So it might rally up into this resistance, tag this channel, then start on the downside. But if you look at gold, it's slightly tilting to the downside. It's tilting to the downside. It's making series of lower lows and lower highs. So it's tilting to the downside, but it's still giving a tough time to sell, still giving a choppy situation. So you need to be aware of that for gold. For gold, I can't see much of gold. It's just more like consolidatory move. So the next pair we're going to look at is USDCHF. The USDCHF is bearish, weekly close bearish. Well, if you look at where it closed, this candle here, this is the week low, and that's like 3 or 4 weeks back. This is the low. So if price does not take out this low, there's a possibility it's going to pull back into the body of this big bearish candle. And as you can see, this is a very, very big bearish candle. Very, very big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks engulfed. Because when you're looking at an engulfing candle, most times you don't look at the weak highs, you look at the range. So there's a possibility this may really drop when it starts. So that will depend on what happens at 98.44. If 98.44 gets taken out, then we might see further drop in price. And that comes in around here. So the best thing, if you would ask me, is in a downtrend, you wait for rallies. Rallies give you better opportunities than trying to buy near support structure. So the best thing is, if this pair, if it comes in here and this area holds our support, wait for it at either this level or higher up here, either of this level. But once it comes down below here and gives you something like that, then it's safe to sell. So that's just it. It may bounce from this area where it is. Because if you look to your left, you can see price has always moved out of this area. But if it breaks this area, and gives you a retest, then something like this might be happening. And this trend line, let me look at this trend line. That trend line is coming from way here. So that's a daily trend line. So we need to be aware of it at this point. So next pair we're going to look at is the EURUSD. We're looking at the EURUSD. The EURUSD is bullish, very, very bullish, as you can see. 3 weeks of straight rise. So now, but if you notice, whenever it rallied, it always did a pullback. If you notice here, price moved from this point to this point, dipped into 3858.2, rallied up to this point, 5061.8. So most likely, And the range of this candle is not as big as this. So two things may happen here. Price may spike up into this area or pull back a bit. So that's where your fib levels will come in handy for the weekly. So you place it and wait for pullback continuation. So how do we look at this on our intraday chart? Basically, this is where price is coming into. There's structure here. So if it fails at this structure, as if this place acts as resistance, then what you might see is something like this. Then price will come back down. Or price may break above, the resistance will become support, then it's going to move up into this area. But that's just what you need to see. And remember, the dollar index has a large effect on the Euro USD. So you need to be aware of that. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me clearly, please just type in yes. If you can hear me clearly, please type in yes. Someone says my audio is breaking. So this is the scenario for the Euro USD. I might see a bit of a pullback. So the next pair we're going to look at is EURGBP. And like I've been saying from last week, you may need to, Mr. Cyril, you may need to disconnect and connect back. Might be your network. I've been saying this since last week. EURGBP is at a very vital area. Because if you looked at it from last week I was saying that the move at this trend line is not very, very convincing. It's not very convincing at all. That there's a possibility that they are holding this trend line to bounce higher. And I'm getting some information that there might be a gap up on this pair, but I can't see it until market opens. So let's go down to our charts to see. So looking at this pair for now, it's still at this big structure area and this trend line. So possibly this pair might bounce up like this. There's a possibility it might bounce up like this because there was Brexit parliamentary vote on Saturday. So, and I don't think the outcome was very, very positive for the pound. So you might see the EURGBP gap up into the market. So we just need to be aware of that. So this pair might most likely bounce to the top side. The next pair we're going to look at is the GBPUSD. So go to the weekly of the GBPUSD. GBPUSD has been very, very, very strong, you can see, but it's at a structure point, at a very, very vital structure point. So, and that's where it is now. So the deal now is that if the market comes out and this level has been broken to the downside, what you might just need to do is wait to see something like this. Then it will go lower. That's just what you need to see, because at this point it had so many confluence sitting at that level. Let me show you. It had this channel at this point, then it had this weekly level at this point. So that's a confluence. So let's see what happens by 10 when the market opens. So we'll get an idea of the scenario. But if this trend line is broken, wait for a retest and then you might see further move to the downside. The next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPCHF. So looking at the GBPCHF, the GBPCHF, this trend line, it broke above it. And then it rallied. There's a little structure at this area. There's a little structure here. So now, looking at this pair, this is just what is holding it. If it runs into here and gets rejected, something like this happens, then you'll be looking to see what happens at this area. If this area holds, then we may see a move back up. It has lots of structures to the downside. But if the pressure starts, the GBPCHF is very, very volatile and it may break all this structure. So looking at this, you might need to just use your fib again. But if it goes back below this trend line, then it's going down further. So that's what we need to be aware of on this pair. So the next pair we'll be looking at is the GBPUSD USDJPY. Looking at the USDJPY, well, this is not a good close on the weekly. It's an indecision candle. So let's see how this is going to play out on our intraday buyer. It's already pointing to the downside. It's already pointing to the downside, which means that we might see weakness on the USDJPY. But that is dependent on what the dollar index does. If the dollar index starts to experience a little bit of weakness, this would speed up the drop of this pair. This pair would drop down towards this area. But if this area holds, then you might see a move back up on this pair. That's just what you need to be aware of. Where the dollar index is at the moment may cause a bounce. And if it should bounce, then this pair might not drop as fast as it's supposed to go. So this pair, you might see weakness. You might just see a little bit of weakness on this pair. So the next pair we're going to look at is the Euro-Yen. So looking at the Euro-Yen is clearly bullish, but it has run into a bit of structure here. This series of highs here, that's where it has run into. So there is a possibility you might see a bit of a pullback. Looking at it on the intraday, you might see a bit of a pullback. And should it pull back, these are the levels to watch from. So you might just see it do something like this. It might pull back to any of these levels, then rally back up. But should it go below this level, then you're going to see it go lower. Or to the top side, it might just do something like this. But that will be dependent on what happens tomorrow. Because you know, Mondays, you just need to be a little bit careful with your trading on Monday so that you don't get trapped by the market. So the next pair we're going to look at is GBPJPY, the pound yen. So looking at the pound yen, it's at this structure point, and this is a big weekly candle. So you might also use your fib on this pair. There's a possibility you might also use your fib on this pair. So it has already given you the high. It's easier. You take the low to this point and watch and see what happens. So looking at this pair, if this trend line gets taken out, you wait for a retest, then you move to either any of these levels. So next we'll be looking at is the AUDUSD. So looking at the AUDUSD is has silently turned up. As you can see, there's a big W formation here. Let me show you guys. Do you see the W formation? It's already taking shape. So now this is the neckline. I call this place the neckline now. This area needs to be taken out for further rally. So let's go down now to our chart on the intraday basis. You can see where it is approaching now. This area might act as a bit of resistance, forcing price. If price closes back below 68.59, then you know it's going to go back down to test any of these levels, because this weekly, you can also use your fib on this weekly, because you know it is bullish. So you'll be looking for pullback opportunities to continue the uptrend. So that's what you have. If this trend line breaks, then you might see a correction, not a reversal, a correction. So you just need to be aware of that. So if you see a short opportunity, know that the short opportunity you're taking is a secondary trend. It's not the primary trend. The primary trend is up. So the next pair we're going to look at is the EURAUD. So looking at the EURAUD, well, this pair is not looking so nice on the daily. Wicks to the top side. So there's a possibility this pair might buckle in the coming days. So on this pair, what you just need to see is if it rallies a bit and gives you a bit of rejection, then you can take from here, perhaps from this resistance, or you wait for a break below this zone completely and to take it somewhere down like this. As you can see, there's a rising trend line here. See this trend line? Price has not tested it, so it may come down to this trend line and bounce up. It has wicks to the top side. This is the third week is showing rejection, so showing that there are serious sellers in this area. And moreover, it gave a false break above this trend line. This channel, let me show you this channel. It's a big channel here. A trend line, not the channel. The trend line is running from this place to this place. So price broke above it here and closed back into it. So there's a possibility it may rally up, then drop down. So that's just what you need to be aware of. So the next we're going to be looking at is the USD. So looking at the USD card, let's look at the USD card from the well, now it gets interesting. The USD card is back into this prior range, and that range comes in at top comes in at 1.3143. So let's see. Okay, I don't think I noted it here. 1.31 somewhere here. So that's the area here. So if this area should hold as resistance, as you can see, it's already rejecting price, then you might see price drop here. But should price go above here and hold above it, then you might see price come into this area. But if you look at this from the daily, weekly, it's still bearish. Might see a bit of a correction before a continuation of the downtrend. So that is it for today's review. That's it for today's review. Let me just look at, there's another opportunity on the pair, New Zealand USD. I don't always look at this pair. I do not. But let's look at it. There is something promising on this pair. So I just said, let me look at this pair. If you look at this pair, this is the weekly close. This is the weekly close. Long wick to the upside, to the downside. So this pair might give you a bit of a pullback and it may continue up. If you look at this pair, there's a W formation. But this W is a lower leg W formation, which means that there has been a trap move on this pair. There has been a trap move on this pair. That means those who had stop losses here, it has been activated. So on this pair, you might see a major move to the top side. So if you're someone that trades NZDUSD, if you're someone that trades NZDUSD and you're looking for an opportunity, all you just need to do is wait for pullback. So simply, you pick your fib from the low to the high, and then you wait for it. So that is it for today. I thank you all for taking your time to attend to this class. And I wish you all a beautiful trading week and a beautiful night's sleep and a blessed trading week ahead. Thank you all for coming and good night.